Okay. Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out before before I get into it. It's the 12th. The last day I recorded anything was Sunday, the 9th. I mean, for good reason, okay? Not because I wanted to take a break or anything from recording and keeping up with kind of how all my symptoms are going and how everything is going, but some things happened and I figured they were way more important to give my entire energy to. So, yeah, that's just what I did. So we had Thanksgiving, right? That's where I left off. The last video was getting ready for Thanksgiving. I had really big plans of staying on my detox, and that did not happen. I fully went off my detox. I went 100% off my detox, and I'm paying for it 100%. My guts are incredibly unhappy with me. Not to mention, I am just far more symptomatic than I was before. Not in the sense that overly symptomatic. It's not extremely symptomatic, but there is definitely an uptick in the extreme part of my symptoms. Which, yeah, that's what happens. I went from being super clean and, oh my gosh, man. I think back to it, it's just, I went pretty balls to the walls doing this, and my body was kind of shocked. That's, I think the best way to say it is I kind of shocked my body by just going right off of it really quickly. So, learning lesson, we don't do that again. So yeah, we've learned a valuable lesson for when we start introducing things back into our life. If we so choose, we're just going to be very gentle about it because holy moly, I mean, yeah, this is a learning process. Detox before, but it was not as extreme, and I was, a few years younger, so I'm assuming being a little bit older, bounce back is not as, not like it used to be. So, I apologize for not keeping track the last couple of days, but I'm back on it today, and yeah, that's just where we are right now. But yeah, Thanksgiving was good overall. It was really, really nice to spend time with family. I got a surprise visit from my brother, which was incredible. I haven't seen him in 3 years, so that was so nice just to reconnect and hang out with him for a bit again. And yeah, it was such a beautiful time, playing games with the family and eating good food and yeah, going completely off of my restrictions, which, man, for the last, I would say almost a month, I have been slowly cutting back on this stuff. I've known that I was going to do this, so I have been trying to make it a little bit easier for myself. I went from smoking vape pen, nicotine every day, just throughout the day, just hauling on it. And, I knew that I was going to have to quit that, so, I started cutting back pretty early on last month. And then for weed, I think I'd smoke maybe 3 or 4 joints a day, sometimes more. And I started cutting back on that heaps because I knew that I was going to be taking that out of my daily regime anyways. So I figured cutting back on that was going to be really, really hard because there is a lot of nerve pain that I experience throughout the day, muscle spasms, fatigue, muscle fatigue, helps with my cognitive issues too. So if I'm having a really bad ADD day, I will usually smoke weed, and it usually helps calm some of those overly exaggerated impulses, basically. Help me focus, all that stuff. Just kind of quiet the noise is how I would explain it. But yeah, so I knew that that one was going to be a little bit harder, so I tried to cut back on that pretty slowly. But it's actually been the easiest one that I've had to step away from. Same thing with drinking. You know, I struggle with drinking anyways, so I try not to drink very often. And yeah, I think maybe the last week of last month was the last time I had a drink, and it was just a glass, and yeah, that was that was actually pretty easy to get off of, which thankfully, yeah, and then my cigarettes. I would just put pinches in my weed, and I would roll it up, and that would be the nicotine that I would get in the day besides the vape pen. So it's been a little bit shocking for me to realize that I am far more addicted to nicotine than I thought I was, because that's been the hardest one to kick so far. But yeah, the last couple of days, I've had, oh yeah, and coffee too. I forgot about caffeine. And that one, I went from drinking like 3 to 4 cups a day, just having like 1 cup a day. And then even when I do with the detox, sometimes it's just a little bit of coffee. It's less than a cup. So, we're doing good in that regard. But yeah, the cigarettes have been surprisingly really, really hard to get off of, but I know I can. I've done it before. I don't usually quit everything all at the same time, so I think that's what's been the toughest part is, going from eating decent sized meals in a day to eating very small meals in a day that don't have a lot of meat, which meat used to be like a pretty big part of my diet, I guess. So, replacing that with like more fruits and vegetables, which is fine. It's been taking a bit of a toll on my body trying to get used to that change. I'm anemic, so it's a little tough for my body to get iron in general. So I'm not trying to make myself sick here. I'm taking cod liver oil. I'm going to be starting iron soon. I have like other things that I need to figure out with my gut first before I can start taking iron. So that's a process, which unfortunately the last couple of days I have ruined my guts again. They're pretty sensitive in general, but I have definitely yikes. Yeah. Well, that's okay. Because we're back on it. Today is the 12th. I leave on the 13th of next month. So we're just going to buckle down. We're going to drink heaps of water. We're going to eat lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. We're going to make lots of soups. We're going to make sure that, our detox is supported by the nutrients that we're taking in. And yeah, this is like tomorrow I'm going to really buckle down hard. I want to give myself a full month of like being pretty hard on this and going really hard on this. So that's my plan. That was my plan before. I don't think I ever explained that, but I wanted to give myself like a month of like slowly getting off, a couple weeks of like going pretty hard just to get the feel of like what this next month is going to bring. And I did a pretty good job, I think. For like a week straight. I only had like a couple of ices, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Or it was over a week, but yeah, whatever. I'm going to be hard in the paint coming tomorrow, basically. So I'm gonna give myself the day to like kind of get rid of everything that I need to, and yeah, tomorrow we're going to be balls to the walls, healthy as healthy as ever. But yeah, so Thanksgiving was really nice. I guess I could try to give like a little replay of symptoms over the last few days because oh my god. If I don't treat my body right, it doesn't treat me right, which is totally fair. And I've been noticing that a little bit. So I was just like really spaced out. kind of disoriented, I guess, is a good way to say it. Like, if I would have had to problem solve, I would have gone down a lot of different avenues to get to the point where I needed to be at. Extra steps that don't need to be there, just because my brain wouldn't have been able to concentrate well enough for me to understand that I could just get to point A to point Z without having to go through the rest of the alphabet. So, I noticed that my reaction time was really, really off. So, like, say I went to turn a corner or something, I wouldn't turn the corner fast enough, and I would just, like, walk straight into the wall, okay? That's one thing. My muscle fatigue is so extreme that I would get, like, severe cramping and severe spasms just by doing nothing, basically. And that's just, I wasn't treating my body very well, so it was really, really, really acting up on me in painful ways. But that's okay. I know better. And I kind of knew, ooh, that's what would happen if I did that. I did not take into consideration that I was going to be so, like, my body was going to feel so over stimulated. I think that was what surprised me most was, I cut out this stuff pretty good, and I definitely went a little bit overboard. Not even, like, it's not like I drank bottles of wine and had, shots and ate gluten and soy and dairy and had coffee up my nose, fuck. I really didn't go that crazy, but in comparison to how I have been over the last month and a bit, it was a lot for me to just jump right back into like that. I should have definitely taken a little bit more sense to not go as hard as I did. Like, I had a coffee at 6 p.m. What am I thinking? That's insane for me. I had a couple of Caesars. I made them myself, so I made sure that there wasn't gluten and stuff in it. I made them so that I could have them. But still, I had 2 ounces of vodka. What am I thinking? And a glass of wine afterwards with pop in it. Like, that's just too much for my guts. It's too much for just being stimulated in general. I was smoking weed again, like, just blazing, just having fun blazing, like, unnecessary. And yeah, I was smoking cigarettes like they were going out of style. So, that's actually, I'm being cruel to myself here. I only had like 2 cigarettes, but still, it was in the same day. And I wasn't, I'm not proud of myself for doing that. That, and then I was eating meat, like a good amount of meat. And yeah, man, it affected me cognitively, for sure. Like, my ADD was getting really bad. I couldn't really hold a conversation very well. My memory wasn't existing. I would lose concentration like halfway through a sentence. Now you could say that was just from being stoned or whatever, but I was sober a lot of the times when that would happen. So I don't think that's what it was. And it happens anyways that I forget what I'm talking about when I'm really symptomatic. Like I've said, I could get lost in my same street that I live on, That's how bad it can get sometimes, is my brain just it can't make the connections. It's very testy sometimes. But yeah, so there's my ADD even kicking in right now that I'm like, huh? What did I just see? Yeah, so losing my train of thought just happened. So yeah, my everything is just trying its best to work right now, but I wasn't giving it the best chance to. So we're gonna do better. How do I feel currently? I'm fatigued. My guts are a mess. I feel nauseous. Yay. That's just burping in confirmation of the fact that my belly does not feel good. But yeah, so, fatigue's really intense. Like, I need to go to the store today to pick up salts for a salt bath later, and I'm gonna have to bike ride, and I'm just like, ooh, okay. Like, I'm gonna have to, like, really focus on getting there in one piece and getting home. Um, but yeah, so my day is going to involve doing that. I need to vacuum, and yeah, I can feel the brain fog setting in already, which is a little annoying. It's really hard to do anything when you got brain fog. It's just like an extra layer of, your brain just not wanting to work properly. So, that's not fun. But yeah, sorry for not updating the last couple of days. Um, it was a fairly symptomatic couple of days, but if you would have asked, my mom or my brother if they thought that I was in rough shape, they probably wouldn't have noticed, because I'm pretty good at hiding it, and I'm pretty good at managing it. It's only, like, internally that I have to deal with this stuff, and it does kind of cause me to isolate a little bit, because I don't like putting myself in the position where it could be seen as being unwell. So, all my friends, I love you, and I'm sorry if sometimes you notice that I'm not chatting, because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in my brain that I don't want people seeing. But I'm gonna try to work on that, because that's not fun, and I love my friends, and I don't think they care if I'm being, I'm not gonna say the word, but, when I'm unwell. We'll just say that. When I'm cognitively unwell, I don't think that they judge me that much for not making sense, or all this other stuff that I judge myself for. Like, why did I use that word? That word doesn't make any sense. That's not the word that I was looking for. Oh yeah, that's another thing that I have to deal with. Before I cut this video off, word searching is something that I kind of want to make a video about, because it's really, really hard when your brain doesn't make those connections that I was talking about, when it's being very sluggish, and any thought process that you're having is like moving very slowly. So while you're speaking and try to make sense of what your thoughts are, the words that you want to use just won't come. So sometimes I use a trick, word finding, and that's when you think of something that it relates to, and you try to list off those words until your brain remembers the word that you're actually trying to look for. it's a it's not easy. It doesn't always work, and sometimes you end up using the wrong words, or the wrong form of the word, or any of these things that just makes it come off not right. uh, and yeah, I get pretty self-conscious about it, because I enjoy being an intelligent human being, and when I don't sound intelligent, I get very in my head about it, because put it on me like I'm not intelligent. And that's not the case. My brain just will not let me get there. Yeah, and then so many other things come around with that. So, like, say I'm trying to type a message out, then I am backspacing over and over and over and over again, because I just cannot spell a word right, and it gets in my head, and I get like OCD about it, and I have to keep rewriting it and rewriting it and rewriting it, and that's not good. It's not healthy for me to have to keep doing stuff like that. I should just put my phone away at that point. But I do want to try and communicate with my friends, so it's a battle, honestly. It's a battle between me and myself, isn't it always? But yeah, okay, it's been 20 minutes of a check-in. I guess that's fair, because it has been a minute since I have checked in. Anyways, yeah, so I'll let you guys know how the grocery store and everything goes, because I am not feeling very good. Cognitively, I am slow, and physically, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm just very uncomfortable. I can tell that my muscle fatigue is going to be pretty intense today. I haven't been doing anything, so I'm just resting, right? I can usually get around the house pretty easily without having to worry about muscle fatigue happening. But I do know I have to go do stuff, so I know that's going to change. But yeah, this is my check-in. It's 3 days late, but we did it. We're here. And yeah, I hope you're not too disappointed in the fact that I took a little break and I also got off my detox. Please don't judge me too much for it. I am doing my best. It's not easy. It's not easy to give up all your vices at the same time. Like, if you knew how long this has been my daily regime of, like, getting up in the morning, making a cup of coffee, having a joint, you know, whatever, and then, having a glass of wine at night, and then, smoking my vape throughout the day, plus multiple other joints, and, yeah, it's just, I took a vice for a vice for a vice, it was just stacked on top of each other, and that was just my day-to-day since oh man, for a very long time. So I'm ready for that to change, obviously. This next month is going to be really important, and the month afterwards is the most important. So I gotta treat my body the way it needs to be treated. And yeah, thanks for coming on this journey with me. I love you all. This isn't the easiest thing that I've ever done, but I am excited to really test my will, honestly. And I'm excited to see my body a little bit healthier because I feel like trash. And I don't want to anymore. So, until next time, or later, or tomorrow, because who knows how today's going to go. But I love you all. I will check in again, hopefully today, if not soon. And yeah, until then, take care of yourselves. Know that I love you and that you should love yourself too. All right. I love you. Bye.